Let's talk to Richard Tice about this, because he'll know a thing or two about tariffs. Richard, very good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you. And yes, isn't it funny? Seems with the EU that it's one rule for them and a completely different rule for anybody else.
Yeah.
Normally, we have to comply with every single letter of the trading cooperation agreement. But when it suits the EU, now they just put a coach and horses through it. And this sort of threat has to be met with robust resilience from the Prime Minister and the government. And they have to understand that two can play at this. I wonder how many French fishermen would be thrilled at the idea that fishing boats would be banned from UK waters for the next 12 months.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just say, if you want a licence to fish in our waters, that's going to cost you £500,000 each. See how that goes.
Well, exactly. All of that needs to be put on the table if the EU want to play these games. And the reality is they need us more than we need them. We're still paying them large amounts of money under the original divorce agreement, so we could just stop paying those sums of money and so on. But it requires a determined, courageous Prime Minister, and I'm not sure that's what we've got at the moment.
No, it doesn't seem so, does it? No, I mean, he's so courageous that, one, he didn't even bother to actually show his face yesterday on the second anniversary of October the 7th. He didn't, I would have thought any right-thinking, honourable man would have been seen at least lighting a candle, even if it was inside Downing Street, doing something. He made no attempt to commemorate the deaths of those people on that terrible day. He made no attempt to say what he said last week, which was to safeguard the Jewish community in this country. He made no attempt to sympathise with them. Nothing whatsoever. Literally an empty vessel. And I think that tells you all you need to know about this man.
It does. He's chosen his side. That is the reality. And he and this government have abandoned and betrayed the Jewish community for many, many months now. The ultimate betrayal, of course, was the ludicrous recognition of a Palestinian state, which was basically a reward to Hamas. And these decisions have consequences. And we can't prove it, but it may well be that if you create a vacuum, then these vile anti-Semitic protests continue. And then that sort of thing encourages the odd horrendous monster, Jihad al-Shami, to say, well, that sort of gives me license to go and commit murder against Jewish people. So that is the regrettable consequence, where you don't take a clear, robust stance. And of course, the Prime Minister yesterday should have done what I did and many, many others have done, which is to stand rock solid with the Jewish community. I was at an event yesterday early evening in the centre of London, in a sense a memorial event to those who died exactly 2 years ago yesterday, and frankly that's what any right and decent person would do.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's talk a bit about the Conservative Party. They're having their conference this week. It looks more like a wake to me. I can't see anything good coming out of it. Kemi Badenoch's going to speak today, but literally nobody really cares. And in the midst of it, you've had 20 Tory councillors defect from the Conservative Party and join Reform.
I think at one moment we had more councillors yesterday defecting to Reform than there were people actually sitting in some of the events yesterday. This is it's a long-standing party that is disappearing down the plug hole, and lots of people are saying actually Reform are the real Conservatives, the party of real common sense, who can get us back on track, who can make Britain better off, and they're abandoning ship of the sinking Tory ship. That's what's happening.
Yeah. A lot of people saying to me, actually, it's Boris Johnson who killed it off. That Boris Johnson, he was famously interviewed last week or the week before by Harry Cole, and people were saying, oh, is it time for Boris Johnson to come back? And I was really surprised by the vitriol that faced him from my viewers and listeners, who said, no, we absolutely don't want Boris Johnson back. He completely betrayed us. He completely destroyed every hope that we had ever in leaving the European Union properly, and he completely kiboshed our immigration policy. And so he actually is now being blamed for creating the demise of the Tory party.
Without question, he has created a toxicity of voters' views. I see it in my inbox, letters, when we're out campaigning. talking to voters. People say it all the time. Please don't let Boris anywhere near the House of Commons again. And you forgot to mention there, Mike, net stupid zero. Boris was responsible for the significant promotion of this job-destroying, industry-killing, economic lunacy of net zero, which we at Reform, Nigel and I, we've led the way saying this is madness, we've got to scrap it, that'll bring down bills, that'll get economic growth going again. And all of a sudden now the Tories are saying, oh, Tice was right after all, and we got it wrong. Well, they got it wrong on pretty much everything. So that's why people won't forgive and they won't forget.
No, exactly right. And I mean, once again, in terms of the way this government has dealt with anything at all, I mean, we haven't even talked about the economy yet because they've sort of had a bit of a pass over the last week or so because of conferences and one thing and another. But story this morning in the Telegraph, Revolut's billionaire chief executive Nikolai Staronsky, the founder of the company, which is worth 56 billion quid, has decided to leave London for the UAE. And so all these lefties who go, oh, it's not true, nobody's leaving. Well, actually they are. And this guy, who probably, I would imagine, pays several £1 million in tax, is no longer going to be doing so.
Well, regrettably, the UK has become a hostile environment for international investors to do business. And lots of people are saying it's too difficult. It's not worth taking the risk, all the effort. And that's because of what the Tories did, creating more regulations, more wasteful government spending. They increased taxes, and the Labour Party then put that policy on steroids. And, I mean, public spending is almost 45% higher than it was just 5 years ago. Just think about that. That's an increase of about 9% every single year of government spending. And have we seen the benefits of that? Far from it. Productivity is down in the public sector hugely, and the quality of our public services has got worse, as we're suffering the consequences of mass, cheap, low-skilled immigration, suppressing British wages, consuming our housing and consuming our public services. It's been an absolute catastrophe, a sort of Boris wave of immigration, large numbers of which have no intention of working, just want to bring their dependents, claim indefinite leave to remain that Reform will scrap because of this. I mean, the cost to the taxpayer would bankrupt us. It would be tens and tens of billions of pounds. And we're saying, forget it, we're going to scrap it. And we're the only party that actually will cut government spending. Yeah.
And have you got any faith in Keir Starmer's comments this morning that he said, oh, yeah, I'm going to India, even though we've supposedly got a trade deal already with India. But he says, absolutely no question of me giving any more visas out. I'm not going to be doing that. I mean, you can absolutely guarantee, and you can bet your bottom dollar, I would have thought, that that's exactly what he's going to do.
When he makes a statement like that, generally, if you bet exactly 180 degrees the other way, you'll be closer to the answer. And I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him on a statement like that. I think we know what's coming. They'll dress it up in some form of cuddly language. It'll be sort of a mobility pass or something like that, or a sort of a family-friendly British experience. But sure enough, there'll be rights to extend and stay here forever. That's what's gone on under the Tories. It's what's going on under this Labour Party, and it's a disaster for the British economy and the British people.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm surprised about is that, given that he started off his trip in the cockpit of the British Airways flight, that they didn't fly the wrong way and end up in New York instead of going to Mumbai.
I mean, that was just absolutely extraordinary. I mean, really, just utterly, utterly desperate. He needs to learn to smile and just to sort of try and enjoy life. I mean, just ridiculous.
I know, shocking.
Just imagine being sort of sitting somewhere else in the plane and listening to that sort of nasal nonsense coming down. I mean, it'd be like sort of poison coming through the speaker and the air conditioning duct, wouldn't it?
I'd be literally running.
Stop, let it go away.
You'd be running for the door, wouldn't you? You'd be like, no, sorry, I'm going to get another plane. Thanks very much anyway.
You'd be out the back steps.
Exactly. Richard, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Richard Tice, Deputy Leader of Reform UK.